Hunger protest begins in Niger State. Some youth have trooped to the streets of Niger State to protest the ongoing cost of living crisis in Nigeria. They wielded placards such as "Enough is enough," "Stop anti-masses policies," "We are not slaves in our country," "Hardship is unbearable," "Fuel subsidy must be back," among others. The protesters marched on the street as they chanted anti-government songs. Our correspondent saw some of the protesters on Abuja to Kaduna Expressway and attempted to speak with them, but they declined. The federal and state government had made several efforts to stop the protest, saying it could be hijacked by hoodlums and enemies of democracy. Last week, Governor Mohammed Bago had wooed residents of Niger with welfare packages to prevent the protest. He had announced a 20,000 naira wage allowance for state and local government civil servants and ordered the immediate release of 50,000 metric tons of assorted grains to be sold at subsidized rates to mitigate the current economic hardship. We have over 100,000 metric tons of food in our reserves, out of which we'll be releasing 50,000 metric tons to be sold at 50% of its current price. Before the end of the year, we will slash food prices by 90%, he had said at a town hall meeting. To show appreciation for their efforts in combating banditry, insurgency, and other criminal activities, the governor announced a gift of one Prado Jeep to each head of security agency in the state. So it is because, so it is actually because he gave 20,000 naira to them and he was going to, subsidize their food. That is why he wanted them to stop the protests. I don't understand the kind of brains these people have, most especially those in government, those who, unfortunately, we call our leaders. We are talking about food scarcity, cost of living. Now, if you are going to say, okay, the naira is bad, you cannot appreciate the naira. Maybe the people that you put in your economic team, maybe they are blockheads, maybe they are olodo. Do you understand? They are still looking for, policies that is going to appreciate the naira. Why not you make use of your brains? Do you still need somebody to tell you what to do at this point in time? Now, the thing is, we have food insecurity, okay? We have herdsman and, farmers crisis. We have, insecurity making farmers not able to go. Now, the few farmers who are even able to go to the farms, when they finish farming and it is time for them to transport these so-called goods to the wholesalers, the cost of transportation has gone above triple the price. It is now even over 5 times, or even if not 10 times the price that it was used to be. If you are somebody who used to pay 5,000, I will not be surprised you now pay 30 or 40 or even 50,000 naira for transportation for the same goods, the same quantity and amount of goods. Do you understand? Now, what are you now going to do in such case? You are going to make sure that you reduce the cost of fuel. And I'm not saying subsidize it. People are saying subsidize it. I'm not saying subsidize it. The money that you have been removing and keeping one corner for the so-called fuel subsidy, why has it not been used to repair our refinery? Why? Why at this point in time, there was a time when Nigeria, we were among the first to 10 people who are world export sellers of oil. Why don't we have a refinery? Can somebody just tell me why we don't have a refinery? Initially, when they removed the subsidy, we started hearing super story about the refinery at Port Harcourt, how, in the next how many months, that is how they did that one. That is how they did that one. And today, they abandoned it. Why are we still importing oil? Why? We are not supposed to be importing oil as it is. We are supposed to be exporting oil for sale, refining it within Nigeria and exporting oil. That is why I'm not even talking about subsidizing. What is subsidizing? Subsidizing is still wastage. My own is, where have all the money gone to? They used our money to buy SUV jeeps, terrible. For people we still pay with our hard-earned money. They are collecting salaries that if I call the salaries they're collecting, I don't mean the one that they say they collect. So if you know the amount of money these people collect per month, plus the one they embezzle in a week, you'll be weeping for this country. And then they bought what? They bought private jets recently. They bought a yacht. Tell me what they are going to use in the yacht for. They bought what's it called? They've used our money to pay for lesser Hajj. Like kilo kan one Nigeria pẹ̀lú Hajj. If you want to do Hajj, you can open your purse if you are a rich man. Open your purse and you pay for people from your pocket. But you use our money. And you have the effrontery and audacity. You drank Fearless. I don't know how many cartons or how many gallons of Fearless you drank that you used to tell us that you used our money for lesser Hajj. To sponsor people who are going for lesser Hajj. And then you are coming to tell us that we should have. And then this man now, all he could think of is to come out and start giving the people. See, yes, I understand that this man is not the president. He can actually do much, but that is not a sustainable means of development. If you are talking about sustainable means of development, what you are going to give the people, you are not going to give them something that is perishable or something that, after eating it a day, they will still need to come and knock on your door. You give them something that is sustainable. I keep talking about empowerment. I don't mean that gutter, rubbish empowerment that you give them hoe and cutlass. No, that's not the only thing. There are people in communities. There are people who love tech in communities. There are people who love issue or what they call it handwork. You understand? They call it handwork in Yoruba. The people who love it. Why don't you bring these people, train them, mentor, not just train them to the point where they know how to do that skill, and then train them to the extent where they know how to monetize that skill, and then set them up so that they can actually train more people, so that's what you now have an ECOWAS of people who are actually fishermen, who are not fishermen. They don't need to wait for anybody to give them anything to do. Somebody came out. What's this man's name that came out? The Minister of Works came out recently and was saying, if we are saying we are hungry, we should be providing the solution. I was like, at this point, it has gotten to the point because these people have disrespected us enough. You are telling us to suggest things to you. Even the one we have suggested, have you done it? The one the opposition have suggested, did you do it? No. So why? Meanwhile, when you are coming in, what did you campaign with? That you are going to do this and that. Everything you are campaigning, everything. You have eaten it away. You don't remember, and you are telling us to remind you. Giving Nigeria money will not solve the problem. Giving Nigeria free food will not solve the problem. The only thing that is going to solve the problem is making sure that our refineries are working within 6 to 9 months from now, so that we can start buying fuel for 150 naira per liter. We can now say, okay, that is the one we can actually focus on and face and start looking at how to appreciate the naira and revive our economy. All right, on this note, you've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest.